Here's a fun trivia question for you. What's Mazda's best-selling car? Of course it's this, it's the CX-5. And coming up right now in the fast lane car, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek at this car and tell you what has changed and what hasn't. What hasn't changed is what's under the hood. It's the same 2.5 liter that was in the previous gen, but it puts out 3 horsepower more, 187 horsepower and 185 pound-foot of torque. Now it's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission that either powers the front wheels or all 4 wheels. Mazda says that they've tweaked this engine to make it more responsive. Wonder what design language that bus uses. Mazda calls their design language horse and rider as one. That bus is looking like it's using the seal and driver as one. Looky there. That was exciting, but we better get back to the car sneak peek, Andre, so come on back here. Basically, Mazda is trying to make the car look more premium, more expensive, and they're saying that this language does that for them, especially in this really deep red color that has a lot of different shades and accents. Mazda is trying to fill the space between, let's say, a everyman car manufacturer like Toyota and Honda and a premium car manufacturer like Lexus. And this design language is supposed to do that. Is it working for you? I'll let you decide. Now normally at this point of the review I get behind the wheel and tell you about how the car drives, but since this is a sneak peek, in other words, that information is still embargoed until Monday, I can't tell you how it drives, but I can show you how it drives. I set up the camera on the tachometer so you can see how this car revs. Like I say, the reason they don't allow us to talk about driving impressions is because they have multiple waves of journalists and they want to make it fair for everyone. I can't show you how it drives, so here you go. I got it floored. There you go. Now, the things I can talk about are very important. First and foremost, yes, there is a diesel coming. It's the same diesel that's in the European version of this car, and it's coming at the end of this year. However, keep in mind that Mazda said that the Mazda 6 was going to get a diesel, which never did, so let's stay tuned for that. Mazda says the new CX-5 is 10 millimeters longer and 15 millimeters lower than the outgoing model. It's got the same wheelbase, but they have done some thoughtful changes. For instance, this door now opens much wider, making it easier to get in and out of the back seat. I'm sitting behind myself, and as you can tell, there's ample leg room and actually pretty good headroom, and part of that is because there are 2 things missing from this car that a lot of cars now have. It doesn't come with a panoramic sunroof, and Mazda says that's because they want to keep the weight down, and interestingly it doesn't come with either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. However, Mazda says that that is also coming. Also, I asked about the 0 to 60 time on this car. Mazda said that they let us do that, so when you get it to Colorado we will definitely do that. So I don't have a 0 to 60 time for you, but please stay tuned for that as well. It's like magic. That's a 40-20-40 split seat. Did you know that last year Mazda sold over 100,000 CX-5s? And that's because it competes in the most popular segment, the compact crossover segment, which means it competes with very popular cars like the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, and of course the Ford Escape. If you're a Mazda fan, you might be wondering, why don't they put the motor from the CX-9, the 4-cylinder turbo, into this car? I asked them that very question, and guess what they said? Can you guess? Well, I'll tell you what they said. They said that it fits. Take that for what it is. Will they put it in? It fits. By the way, if you're wondering about this color, it's called Soul Crystal Red, and I love it. And yeah, Mazda did fly me down here to test drive this car. Oh, here we go, another interruption, Andre. Hey guys. And by the way, if you're wondering, this car gets 23, 29, and 26 mpg. That's 26 combined. But as it is, this car is one of those Goldilocks cars. You know, it's not the most fuel efficient, it's not the fastest, it's not the biggest, but everything about it is just about right. I like the way that I fit in here. I have plenty of shoulder room, I have plenty of headroom. I like the comfort of the seat. I like the fact that I can get in the back. It's just right down the middle, and sometimes right down the middle is the best place to be, and I think that's probably why this is Mazda's best-selling car. Not just because the segment is hot, because this car is really in the sweet spot for mid-size crossovers. Inside is where the CX-5 really shines. Think of it as a mini-me version of the CX-9, which I believe has the nicest interior in its class. Everything I touch is soft. Everything is supple. There's no hard plastics. It's very horizontal, giving you a sense of space. And everything is driver-centric. Once again, it's one of the best interiors in class. Get this. Yep, it's electric. There are 3 trim levels: Sport, Touring, and of course, this Grand Touring model. Pricing starts at about $25,000, and if you load it all up like this model, you can get up to about $35,000. The car will be at your local dealership at the end of this month, and be sure to come back on Monday when we'll have a complete review, including a very unusual comparison. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Be sure to click here to check out more great TFL reviews, and of course, check out TFLcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews. I'm a sucker for candy apple red. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.